$600 Social Security payments coming at the end of June. Is that happening? Well, take a look at this article right here. What we know about the $600 increase to SSDI, there is an important SSA announcement. So coming from the Social Security Administration itself about the $600 payment, I'm going to go over that. Also, we have the latest from Representative John Larson.
Our colleagues on the other side want to pass on tax breaks for the wealthy. How about we pass on a tax break to the 23 million people who continue to work because they have to and then end up paying taxes on their Social Security benefit? Don't you think they deserve a break?
From your perspective, what has this been like, and do you see this changing? Do you feel things like your Social Security proposal can really get done in the future?
I'll play the full video clip of what Representative Larson is saying about Social Security and some important updates that you need to know about that has just come out in this latest interview, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Before I dive into the main content, if you appreciate these Social Security updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. So let's get into it here. Social Security $600 increase. We've heard this by June 28th of this month. Is it happening? Well, the SSA has something to say about that and going to clarify some information of whether or not people are getting a Social Security increase of $600. Before we get into that, take a look at the Representative Larson interview.
Thanks for staying with us here on The Real Story. Continuing to check in now with Connecticut's delegation, we're talking about benefits, specifically Social Security benefits, and how they've become part of a political clash in Congress. Joining me now is U.S. Representative John Larson, who's led these conversations and reforms for decades. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be with you, Emma.
So you're on the Ways and Means Committee, the oldest committee in the House, and Social Security has really been a long-standing and usually one of the most steady benefits, but this really hasn't been the case on your committee as of late, right?
Well, Social Security is still the most steady benefit we have, and it's the nation's largest insurance program and most successful. It's the number one anti-poverty program for the elderly, and what a lot of people don't know is the number one anti-poverty program for children, as well as being a disability policy that more veterans rely on than they do the VA. And yes, currently Congress needs to act because Congress has not done anything to enhance the program in more than 53 years. A lot has happened since Richard Nixon was the president, especially within the economy and the cost of living, et cetera. And that's why the proposal before Congress is either to enhance the program, and you can do that in just two ways. You know, you can either enhance benefits by taking in more revenue, or you can cut benefits so that you can pay out money to existing programs at the current state of affairs that they're in. And that's not a good state of affairs, Emma, with more than 5 million Americans getting below poverty level checks from the federal government. Most of them women who've been working all their lives, but A, were the caregivers and at home raising children, and B, when they were in the workforce, were making less than their male counterparts. Nobody gets wealthy on Social Security, but it is the sustenance for just about every American, and for 40% of the 70 million people on Social Security, it's the only benefit that they have for retirement. And on average, that's $18,000 per male, $14,000 per female. And as I said, more than 5 million get below poverty level checks from the federal government.
And you're saying Congress needs to act. We've seen a lot of political discourse here, and in the subcommittee hearing, Republican caucuses, especially the largest one, the Republican Study Committee, have actually taken legislative steps to cut 21% of the benefits budget line.
Yes, and they do so by saying, with a false logic, they say people are living longer, so therefore they ought to work longer. Satirically, most people say, so what do you want me to work until I drop dead? But realistically, and this is what people have to understand, for every year you raise the age, that's a 7% cut in benefits. So that would be a 21% cut in benefits for if you raise the age from 67 to 70, where we're in a position where people need more money now, not less money. And how does it make sense that if you're living longer in retirement, you should be living on less? And flatly, it doesn't.
And you've said you want to add
Social
revenue,
Security,
right?
Yes, we do. And what the president has proposed, and I totally agree with this, is lifting the cap on Social Security. Now, the president calls for us lifting the cap on people making over $400,000. I routinely go to town hall meetings and ask people if they're making over $400,000. To date, I've had no one raise their hand. But for example, like a professional athlete, take Aaron Judge from the New York Yankees. He stops paying into Social Security after his first swing at bat. And for many billionaires and millionaires, they either pay nothing or a very limited amount into Social Security, while the everyday working person making 30, 50, 75, 125,000 pays throughout their year and pays throughout their lifetime into a system that they expect their government to hold in trust and then be able to pay them in their retirement. And as we said at the outset of the show, Emma, and it hasn't been enhanced in 53 years.
Yep.
Long overdue, don't you think?
And your proposal is Social Security 2100. What would that actually mean for, everyday residents, for people back here in Connecticut?
Sure. What it will mean for everybody from the start is a 2% across the board increase for everyone. It'll make sure also that no one can work all their lives and retire into poverty, as is the case with 5 million of our Americans. The new floor for Social Security will be 125% of whatever the poverty rate is at the time. Also, for people like teachers and for police officers and firefighters and municipal employees that were hurt by what is called WEP and GPO, that will be repealed. So they'll now be able to receive Social Security benefits from their spouse, or also benefits that they earned while they were either a teacher or a firefighter, et cetera, and paid into Social Security. We also, for 23 million people, and I don't think most people understand this, Social Security gets taxed. That's double taxation. Our colleagues on the other side want to pass on tax breaks for the wealthy. How about we pass on a tax break to the 23 million people who continue to work because they have to and then end up paying taxes on their Social Security benefit? Don't you think they deserve a break?
And you were saying that's because this would get rid of that cap, so those higher income people would be paying more?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So when you lift the cap on paying people making over 400,000, just by them paying into this system, we would be able to not only make Social Security solvent, but also increase the benefits. And they're both important, both the solvency, but also the benefits, because they haven't kept pace. If Congress hasn't done anything since 1971, I think it's intuitively obvious to every American that it needs to act.
Right.
And if you believe that the best action to take is to cut benefits, God bless you, put that out there, but let's vote on it. We believe that what we need to do is enhance the program and have everyone pay their fair share. That's what the president has said. That's what he said in his State of the Union message and was very clear about it. It's long overdue for people that are making over 400,000 to pay the same rate that a guy 30, 50, 75 is making. Not asking them to pay more. They're just asking them to pay what the average American does. We're all Americans at the end of the day. And this is the safety net program for capitalism and entrepreneurialism. It also, and I challenge anyone on this is a great economic development program. Every single congressional district, on average, 200 million plus comes into each congressional district monthly. to the citizens that are on Social Security monthly. Where do they spend that money? Right back in the community, right back at the grocery store, right back at the pharmacy, right for rent and for mortgages, to put gasoline in their car. It's basic sustenance, and it helps the economy out, and most importantly, it helps our fellow citizens out. That's what an insurance program is all about. That's why it's called FICA, Federal Insurance Contribution. It's not an entitlement. These are earned benefits that people have paid out of their own pocket. And yes, the business pays half of that too, but they get a total tax write-off for that. So it's not like it's costing them. They get to write that off in its entirety. And the individual pays in, so in return, they get the insurance from their government by way of a pension check or disability or spousal or child care.
Right. And you've been talking about the need for change. As you said, there haven't been any changes to this program in a really long time. We've also mentioned the need. People are obviously, living longer and these checks aren't going as far. But you also mentioned, putting out to your colleagues, taking a vote on this. I want to end here by asking you, you've been in Congress for a long time. You've been on this committee and led these conversations for a very long time. We've been talking to the entire delegation about this the past couple months, but to onlookers and constituents, it seems really like there's a blockade right now with both parties not getting anywhere with each other. Specifically in the House, we've watched shutdown showdowns, a speaker meltdown. I've spoken with you about that, and just so many points of confusion and really partisanship here. So from your perspective, what has this been like, and do you see this changing? Do you feel things like your Social Security proposal can really get done in the future?
Yes, I do, and in large part, Aaron, and I'll be frank about this. The more that the media covers this, and the more that residents understand, and especially with 10,000 baby boomers a day becoming eligible for Social Security and looking at it across the kitchen table with their family or sitting down with their accountants or financial advisors and saying, hey, what's happened here? Why hasn't anything been done? And then holding Congress, the only body that can change it. This is not anything the president can do through executive action or that the judicial branch is going to do. This has to be taken up by Congress, and therefore it needs to vote. If you think the best plan is to cut benefits going forward, God bless, put it out there and let's have a vote. We have a plan. The president has a plan. Take that up for a vote. And that's where the contention is to take that issue up and vote on it. And look, there's a lot of blame that can go around too, et cetera. But the bottom line is, this is that important to 70 million Americans and for future generations that Social Security be there. And for 40% of that 70 million or 28 million Americans, it's the only thing they have.
Well, Congressman Larson, thank you so much again, ranking member of the U.S. House's Social Security Subcommittee. Thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Emma. Thank you. Look forward to coming back. And thank you for covering this.
What are your thoughts on what Representative Larson has to say? Agree, disagree? Looks like there is a big need for change for Social Security, yet no change is happening. We're seeing a lot more coverage on Social Security. Is it because it's an election year, or is it because they actually want change to happen? Let us know down in the comments below. So let's get into the $600 payment. Social Security $600 increase for SSDI, as well as other Social Security recipients. Well, it is actually false. So no Social Security recipients are not getting $600 monthly payment increase. Take a look at the SSA website. So we look at the Social Security Administration website. They actually have an alert right here. Reports of $600 payment increase in June are false. No COLA increase will occur until January 2025. So brings you to this COLA site right here. So if you've seen other articles or other YouTube videos talking about the $600 payment increase. It is false. It is not coming. The SSA has put it right at the top of their website. So don't hope for that. Wherever you're getting your news, make sure it's from a trusted source. So I just want to give you that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
If you want to see the 3 big changes that are coming to Social Security in 2025 that may surprise you, one of them being Social Security being withheld from certain recipients, click this video right over here. Also, I have the latest Bernie Sanders interview on Social Security talking about the need to expand and enhance benefits. So you're going to want to click that video right here, and I'll see you in that video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.